Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Jet Baker, and I am doing one painting each day in quarantine. Today is day 38. And today, this is a special photo to me. This is Fort Myers Police Department in a heart formation in the parking lot of a hospital there. And the title of this painting is called Police Show Love. That's very special to me because I work closely with hospitals here and with the police department. My nonprofit Share Art Heal brings art to the Austin Police Department Summer Youth Leadership Program every summer, and this will be our 5th year. And we also have been providing art kits and art supplies and worked with the hospital, Dell Children's, for 5 years now too. We've been around for 5 years. So this is a really special painting for me. I actually just got chills. And I'm an actor, but you know, I didn't fake that. That's real, you know. So we're gonna paint love from the police to the hospital workers. I started with painting a heart, just drawing a heart, and then I actually realized that I'm gonna do this one like I did the San Antonio parking lot scene last Wednesday when all the cars were lined up. It's an aerial view. So I'm gonna paint the parking lot in first. There's a lot of nice colors coming off of the lights. The street lights are yellow. The APD car or the police cars are reflecting blue and red lights. Here's my palette knife from yesterday. I didn't clean it, no worries. I'm just gonna scrape that paint off and then I'll be ready to go. No muss, no fuss, no messy cleanup. Okay, got some white on there. Let me get my photo up here. Had a little bit of some technical difficulties today, but it looks like we might have fixed that glitch in the new camera. So we have a new camera. You can really take a look at me. You can really take a look at you. No, I can't. But okay, let's get my photo up here. You know, day 38, you think you're a professional, you just pop in and didn't complete my checklist. So, where's my music? A little Mozart, please. Isn't this fascinating? This is real life, y'all. I hope everyone's being safe at home and staying at home as long as possible, unless you're an essential worker. And if you are, thank you. If you're a first responder, thank you. If you're a medical professional, thank you. Delivery people, grocery workers, you're all in my paintings and my thoughts. And everyone who's staying home, you too, because that's what we can do best. Talked to my friend Dr. Jack, who's an emergency room doctor, on Sunday. He called in, and it'd still be best if everyone stayed in, you know? So that's what I'm doing. This is day 38. Okay, I have my photo up. Thanks for your patience. Working on the new setup. Comments. No glitches. I'm really happy about that today. And honestly, who knows why they appeared and why they didn't. They're gone. Okay. Painting. Painting. I'm painting, and painting makes me happy. I started on my first day of quarantine. I said, now I have some time to paint. And I loved it. So I painted the next day. And that second day I painted the toilet paper wars. Remember the good old days? And then the third day I painted a senior who was, at that time this was happening only in nursing homes. And Kirkland, Washington was a hot spot. And that day, the third day, is the day that I decided that I'd be doing this every day while I'm in quarantine. And today is day 38. Starting week 6, into week 6. And I'm ready to paint for a while. I'm prepared. Like I said, I run an art nonprofit, so I have some paint, I have some canvases. I'm going to document what's going on through my eyes, my arm, my brain, my canvas. So here we go. Let's paint this parking lot. And actually, it's dark. It's night. It's dark. So those lights are really going to show up in the painting. If you could please like and subscribe. I'm new here on YouTube. And as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers, there's some cool editing tools. Like I can go watch this video, and subscribe here, and watch this video. And here I am on Ellen. Hi, Ellen. I'd love to paint with you. Okay, here's our parking lot. Black, white equals parking lot. A lot of different colors in this parking lot. I have some gray here. I'm going to get some darker paint on my knife. And around the edges, it is a little darker. So I'm going to just really, this is kind of fun. I'm just going to paint this in. I enjoy painting. I use a palette knife, a plastic palette knife, because it has nice flexibility. Occasionally I'll use some others for some small details, but this is really all I need. This is something you can get for a craft store or a art supply store. Inexpensive. It's a plastic stick. And I'm going to need a lot more black paint. Shout out to all my friends at APD Outreach. They're the folks who I work with at the Austin Police Department. They do Blue Santa, servicing 28,000 families every year. They have an outreach program for every community. Every different ethnic community. They have outreach to the churches. They have an outreach to gay and lesbian community. They have an outreach to everyone. And one of the programs that they have is the summer program for middle school students, 150 students, and it's a leadership program. They learn about leadership, and they become leaders in their community. Officer Eric Oakman is the founder of this program. It's been in existence for over 10 years now, and there are solid results. Again, I have all these goosebumps, and that's for real. It's changing lives. The kids are encouraged to come for 4 years, and they become leaders in their schools. And they're making a difference. Now they come back every year. We have some that are in college, students that are in the workforce, students that are in military service, and they come back and they talk to the students every year. There's some returning students, and they share their success stories. So I'm really proud that we bring art to these kids. They do a lot of work. They're doing homework. They're having leadership classes. They're having some really cool, fun activities, and art is one of them. I bring local artists to share their medium and teach the kids about art, and they really love it. When they're making art, they're focused. They're getting to know each other. They're bonding, and they're creating something. So I just want to shout out to all the Austin Police Department outreach people. Okay. And thank you for tuning in. Okay, we have a parking lot in here. Now, in the parking lot, there are parking spots, and then there's the aisle where the cars drive. And the aisle where the cars drive, it's a different color. It's a little lighter. So I'm going to come back, put a little lighter paint on my knife, and put those areas in. We have some nice angles here. This kind of comes down here. So there's a parking lot. Okay, there's some yellow. There's some yellow reflecting on where the street poles are. So I'm going to put some yellow in here. This is the fun part. I'm just putting this paint on here. Okay, and then there's yellow here, kind of in the spotlight. And then there's the lights reflecting on the pavement coming off of the police lights. Some of them, it's cool, they're in mid-flash. Of course, it's a photograph. So some of them are on red, some of them are on blue, some of them are on both. And this will actually be a colorful nighttime painting. I want to get these parking lot kind of smoothed out a little bit. We'll do the parking spaces are facing this way, so we will do that. clean off my palette knife. This is another reason I don't use a paintbrush, because there's no water, there's no splashing, there's no mess. I'm clean and ready to go. I'm just going to blend in. There's this part here where the cars drive, and it's the same up here, but it's just a little bit lighter. I'll even take paint right from there, just suggest it up there. And then this yellow gets really bright, so I'm going to come back in, put that in really bright. Oh, that looks great. That looks great. I get excited. Look at it. I'm already working. Apron. I don't want to get paint on my painting shirt. Bob Ross, have you heard of him? He used to paint. Happy guy. I get Bob Ross. Inspiration. He wore the same shirt every day. Not the same shirt. The same. It was his wife made them for him. My wife. I don't have a wife, so I decided to wear the same shirt every day. You know, he wore a nice neutral blue, a little lighter, and so you know, why not take tips from the professionals? That's what I always say. Hire the professionals. Okay, so let me just show you where we are. We have the looks great. That is the parking lot happening there. There is yellow light coming off of the street lights. I'm going to just come and soften that gray line a little bit. It's a little black. I'm going to take the yellow off and keep that yellow in that one area. So what I do every day is I paint at 1 o'clock here on YouTube live, and I put in a palette knife painting like this. Then I take a break, have a sandwich. Yesterday I had some Cheerios. Not sure what today will hold for me. But, it's paint. I always say you can paint over it if you haven't. Ooh. So that's what I'm going to do right here. Let's put a little texture in there. That looks great. Just using the flat part of my knife. It's fun. Getting a little black, getting a little dark gray. Just coming over it. Oh, that looks awesome. Putting just a little texture on it. Taking out some of the paint strokes. Perfect. That looks cool. Looks cool. So every day at 1 o'clock, I do this kind of a palette knife painting. And then every day at 3 o'clock, after my sandwich, after everything's dry, I come back and I use acrylic paint pens. So we have acrylic paint pens on an acrylic painting. And I finish that up every day live here on YouTube at 3 o'clock. I have to admit, today I had a little bit of a late start. I was talking to my brother in Atlanta, who I haven't talked to in over a month, so or even texted. So it was nice to check in with the family in Atlanta. They are opening up that city somewhat, or state somewhat, apparently. And he's doing good. He's doing well. And that kept me a little bit late today. Usually, I'm an actor, and I'm an on-time person. So it's, I had a nice chat with my brother, and that was great. And I just wasn't as set up as I was. So I came on a little bit late today. I'm not done with that. So, okay, here, that looks so cool to me. Let's see, yeah. And I'm going to move the yellow even down a little further on this one side, because that's how it's in the photo. Actually, up a little higher on this side. Goes all the way off the page almost. So I'm coming back and stippling in some yellow. Painting over again, just extending that yellow. Yes, it looks great. And then the light kind of, comes out around. It fades into the gray. There's a little red in there, but you know what? That's going to be fine. That's great. This is looking very nice. Okay, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint over this. I'm going to paint the cars. The cars are black and white. So I'm going to paint the white part. It might not look like cars right away, but when I come back at 3 o'clock and hook it up with the acrylic paint pens, then they will look like cars. So here we go. Okay, just checking in. Got a little paint on my fingers, or as I like to call them, the paintbrushes I was born with. When I use the paint pens, I use my fingers to blend that liquid acrylic paint into this painting. Okay, here we go. Now, I painted over my heart. So I'm going to put a heart in there. Do I have something I can use? I'm going to scrape a heart in there. I'm going to use the pencil. I'm going to just get the shape of that heart correct before I just go in there and start dabbing paint everywhere. And like I did before, I think I'm going to paint the heart upside down. No, because it's upside down in the photo. And have you ever drawn an upside down heart? It's not easy. Seriously, try it today. I'm going to turn the painting upside down and draw the heart. Okay. I think that's a little confusing for me, so I'm going to try to draw an upside down heart. Please join me if you would. Okay, the tip of the point of the heart is right here, bottom, and then the little top divot is about here. And so that means that this comes around like here. And I'm just scraping into the paint, and there'll be cars put over that. So I will know where my heart is. I can see where my heart is. My heart goes out to all these workers here. And all of you who are staying at home. And, okay. Oh yeah, that's a heart. You can't see it probably, but I scraped a heart in there. You can see a little bit here where I scraped in. Okay. Now I'm going to come back with some white. There's a little bit of gray in it. And I'm going to put the tops of those cars. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side of the heart, 4 on the other side of the heart. Very precision. This was a really nice thing that they did. Wait, okay, I'm in the right angle now. 4 down. So there's 1 here, 1 here. There's 1 here. Okay. And then there's 1 on an angle. And while I'm here, there's 1 over here on the side. And there's another 1 up here on a different angle. And I can see this painting is going to have a lot of details, so my 3 o'clock video is going to be a little longer. This one will be quick while I just put in where these cars are going. I'll be drawing all the little parking spaces in with the paint markers. Okay, and then there are 4 cars. You see a little different angle on these cars. Perfect. The tip of this, the shape of that is just perfect. Okay, that's not quite right, but you know what? It will be. That's right. And then there's 1 here. And then there's 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I got my angle a little bit off, don't I? No, it's okay. I'm going to fix it. Let's get my angle right. Dang it. They come a little straighter. I'm just going to paint them the way they should be, and then I'm going to remove the ones I painted earlier because I can't. It's paint. No worries. This is all, for me, this is all about stress reduction. So if I start letting the painting stress me out, you know, that's no good. Instead, I'm having fun. Okay, that's great. That's great. And then they come around, there's one here. That's a lot, that's okay. One here. Angle, 1, 2, 3, 4, angle. One here. Yeah. And then there's the one, then there's two here that make the point. The peak of the heart. Okay, okay. Okay, so you can see heart shape here. Those are going to be the cars. And a few of these here, I got a little off track. I'm going to remove the outer layer. Mostly while it's wet right now. First, I'll just scrape it off. Oh, wow. It's gray underneath. First paint the color of the paint that you put on the canvas first is the paint that's going to show through when you scrape off the paint. That's how I get these cool effects on these oil paintings over here. This is acrylic paint. Okay, so I've kind of removed that a little bit. I'm going to go back in, just blot it out. It's all going to go, it's going to be exactly how I want it to be. I'm going to paint until it's the way I want it to be because this one is a special one to me. Police showing love to the hospital workers. Yeah, here's a gray that's pretty close to there. I'm going to just remove that. I'm going to blot that on there. I'm going to blot that on here. And then I'm going to come back with that yellow and put that yellow from the street lights over what I just did. I'm going to paint over it again. Because I can. Okay. Let's check our fingers. Doing pretty good here. Painting. Okay, just some pure yellow on there, and I'm going to stipple that in and blend it around like I had it before in the round shape that a light was cast on the parking lot. Perfect, perfect. The cars are blocking the light from coming into the heart, so I'm just going to do this side here. I like the way that stipple looks, so I'm going to come back over this yellow and just soften up these brush marks with just using the flat edge of my knife and just putting on some bright yellow right in the middle where, it looks great. This makes me happy. So right now I'm not thinking about the news. I'm not stressed out. I'm painting. I suggest, I'm doing something creative, make some art. Doodle. Everybody doodles. Did you doodle on your notebook at school? Okay. Before I get too chatty, why don't I put in a little black paint where the black parts of the car are. It'll I'm going to refine it with the paint pens later, but it'll give a nice texture so that when the light hits the painting, the cars will actually be raised up a little bit and they'll be putting the paint will be putting a shadow onto the canvas, and that shadow changes during the day. Oh my goodness, my music. I knew it was quiet. Mozart, if you please. Thank you. Yeah, that's what happens when you rush. Excuse me. Thank you. Royalty-free music from Mozart. Okay, I'm coming back into these cars and I'm putting some paint on them. Just paint on the front end and the back end because they're black and whites. Okay, this is great. This is great. Like little pandas. Shout out to Officer Wynn. Who likes pandas? 1, 2, 3, 4. Each car's in a little different position, so that's why I'm looking up all the time. You can see a lot of these white marks I put in are a little bit thick, and I'll just thin those down when I come back with the paint pens and make them car-shaped. And half the heart is done. I'm going to come around, do the other half of the cars. And I'm going to get these lined up correctly because they are lined up correctly. It's looking good to me. It's going to be great. I think that once this is done, this has become an iconic photo. You'll just take a look at it and you'll know what I'm painting here. What I've painted. Black. Going to get these cars in the right perspective. Okay. Okay, so here's where we are so far. I'll show you our inspiration drawing, a paint photo again. Here we are. We are painting, these officers did a heart. And here's the start of our heart. So what I do is at 3 o'clock, this is going to dry now. I'm done with the first part of the painting. At 3 o'clock, I come back. I use the Posca paint pens, Hey Posca, and finish it up. So I'm going to go have a sandwich. And in the meantime, try drawing a heart upside down. Be happy, be healthy, and be kind.